We are going to start reviewing how to graph linear equations. And so the first type was in slope-intercept form. So if you remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And the slope is the number in front of the x, so that's just the m. The b is representing the y-intercept. So on my first equation, I have y equals 2x minus 1. The first thing I want to do is pull out the numbers for the slope and the y-intercept. So my slope is this number in front of the x, so it's just 2. Now remember, we want the slope to be a rise over a run. Because remember, that's our staircase that's going to tell us how steep our line is. So since it's a whole number, we're going to go ahead and make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. My y-intercept is the second number, which is -1, and notice I put negative because of that minus sign. So what you're going to do is you want to plot that y-intercept first. So you're going to go ahead and put -1 on the y-axis. So on the y-axis I put -1. Then my slope is going to tell me how high and how much over I'm going to go. So since it's +2, I would rise up 2. And then my run is 1. So I would go right 1. Then I would keep doing that same thing. Up 2 over 1, up 2, right 1, and then I could also go in the other direction to find the other slanting. So down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. Then draw in a nice long line with arrows. Pause the video and see if you can do the next one. On the next one, your slope should be -2/3. Your y-intercept should be at +4. So you should have a point at 4 on the y-axis, and then your slope should be going down 2 this time because it's negative, and right 3. So down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3. And then you could also go in the other direction by going up 2, left 3. Okay, so we're not done. We're going to go ahead and flip to the back side. We also have standard form that we're going to go through. So on standard form, it looks like this, ax plus by equals c. We're going to use the cover-up method so that we can find the x and y intercepts. So that means we're going to be plotting them on the x and y axis. So what that means is, if I'm going to be finding the x-intercept, I'm going to cover the y with my finger. So notice when I cover that y term, I end up getting 5x equaling 15. That's my equation that I write over here on the right side. So now I can just solve that. So now I divide by 5 and my x-intercept is at 3. Now I'm going to come back and find the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, I'm going to cover up the x now. Notice now I have -3y equaling 15 from my equation. So now I can solve that by dividing by -3. So that's why my y-intercept's at -5. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot the x-intercept on the x-axis, because that's where it intersects, and I'm going to cross the y-intercept on the y-axis because that's where it intersects. Then I'm going to draw a line through those. So remember, these are two separate points. This is point 30. This is the point 0, -5. So make sure you're drawing 2 points because that's how many I need in order to draw through my line. Alright, see if you can do the cover method to graph standard form on the next one. So, for your x-intercept, did you end up getting +8? So did you cover the y and get -2x equaling -16? Then did you divide by -2 and get +8? Then did you come back and find the y-intercept, and did you get -2? So did you cover up the x and get 8y equaling -16? Dividing by 8, I get -2. So then you should be plotting 2 points. You should be plotting 8 on the x-axis, and you should be plotting -2 on the y-axis. And then I graph my line through those 2 points. So just to review, you've graphed in slope-intercept, and then we're graphing in standard form today. If you still need more help, let me or Mr. Gahan know.